moment everyone is waiting for is finally here, because right now, the impossible is about to become possible. Inside a private garage in Miami, Matt Armstrong is attempting something Bugatti publicly declared couldn't be done outside their factory walls. No certified technicians, no factory diagnostic equipment, no parts pipeline from Molsheim. Just hand tools, determination, and a wrecked Chiron that's about to be split completely in half. If he succeeds, Bugatti has already lost something far more valuable than a repair contract. They've lost control of the narrative they've spent 2 decades building. That these cars exist in a realm beyond normal mechanical understanding, that only they possess the knowledge to service them, that ownership comes with permanent dependence. This isn't just a rebuild attempt. This is a direct challenge to a business model built on manufactured complexity and engineered exclusivity. And the stakes? If there's gearbox damage, and there's every reason to suspect there is, this entire project collapses. The car becomes an £800,000 paperweight. But here's what makes this fascinating. Bugatti created this situation themselves. They designed the repair process to require their involvement. They priced parts to guarantee profit on every failure. They constructed a system where independence wasn't just difficult, it was contractually and mechanically discouraged. Now that system is being tested in real time, and the world is watching. If you're into real rebuild stories where the outcome actually matters, subscribe. This one's different. Let's establish what Bugatti claimed was impossible. According to official service documentation, separating a Chiron's powertrain from its monocoque requires factory-specific tooling, proprietary software for hydraulic system depressurization, and technicians trained on procedures Bugatti doesn't publish externally. They've stated fewer than 10 facilities worldwide are equipped to perform this operation. The message is clear. Attempting this elsewhere is reckless, dangerous, and beyond the capability of independent mechanics. Matt's doing it anyway. And the contrarian reality nobody talks about? Bugatti needs you to believe it's impossible. Because the moment it becomes possible, their entire post-sale revenue model starts crumbling. They don't make money selling Chirons, they've already made that money. They make it when Chirons break, when owners have nowhere else to go, when repairs require flights to France and invoices that read like mortgage payments. This garage separation isn't just mechanical defiance, it's economic disruption. But before we celebrate the underdog, let's address the nightmare scenario hanging over this entire attempt. The gearbox. Matt suspects it's cracked. The crash impact was severe enough that gearbox damage isn't just possible, it's probable. And here's the problem. If the gearbox is compromised, there's no rebuild. Bugatti doesn't sell gearbox components individually. They don't license third-party manufacturing. You can't call a supplier in Germany and order gearbox internals. The part either comes from Bugatti at their price and timeline, or it doesn't come at all. Which means the only way to know if this project survives is to split the car open and look. No scan can confirm it. No external inspection reveals it. The car must be completely disassembled, the powertrain separated from the chassis, and the gearbox housing opened. Only then does Matt discover whether he's rebuilding a Chiron or parting one out. The tension isn't just physical, it's financial, temporal, and reputational. If the gearbox is destroyed, this becomes a very public, very expensive failure. But the damage assessment can't happen until the car comes apart. So Matt starts removing bodywork, and this is where something unexpected happens. The panels come off easily. In fact, the car is shockingly well engineered for disassembly, which raises an uncomfortable question. If the car is this approachable, why does Bugatti insist only they can service it? This isn't what you think. The impossible repair isn't impossible because of mechanical complexity. It's impossible because Bugatti says it is. They've built an aura of inaccessibility around a car that's fundamentally a car. An extraordinarily complex, precisely engineered, hyper-expensive car, but still a machine built with bolts, fasteners, and modular components that follow basic mechanical principles. The exclusivity isn't in the engineering, it's in the access. And right now, that access is being bypassed entirely. Let's talk about what Bugatti refused to provide. Bugatti built an incredible machine. They did not build a magical one, and that distinction matters. Because the aura of only Bugatti can touch this relies on the assumption that the car operates on principles beyond normal mechanical comprehension. That it's not just complex, but fundamentally different. It's not. It's just more. More systems, more precision, more cost, but not more mystery. Then Matt reaches the point of no return. 14 titanium bolts. Grade 5 titanium, precision machined, torque to specifications Matt doesn't have access to. These bolts hold the engine and gearbox assembly to the carbon fiber monocoque. They are the structural connection between powertrain and chassis. Removing them means the car is committed. Once those bolts come out, the Chiron is no longer one vehicle. It's two halves that must be perfectly realigned during reassembly, or the car will never drive correctly again. Matt doesn't have replacements. Bugatti won't sell them. So he's either reusing them and accepting the risk, or fabricating custom alternatives and hoping they perform identically to Bugatti's spec. The decision gets made. The bolts start coming out. But here's what the camera doesn't show: the tension in the room, because separating the powertrain reveals the gearbox. And if there's damage, if there's even a hairline fracture in the gearbox housing, the project ends here. Matt won't know until the separation is complete. The gearbox is still partially obscured. The damage assessment hasn't happened yet, so the work continues under the weight of unresolved suspense. Let's zoom out for a moment and talk about what this means for Bugatti as a brand. They've spent 2 decades positioning the Chiron as the pinnacle of automotive exclusivity. Not just fast, exclusive, not just expensive, unobtainable. The ownership experience was designed to reinforce that you weren't just buying a car, you were buying access to a world most people would never enter. Part of that world was the service experience. The understanding that your car would only ever be touched by Bugatti-trained hands, that repairs would be handled with factory precision, that you'd never have to worry about some independent shop mishandling your million-dollar hypercar. That narrative had value. It justified the price. It reinforced the brand. But it was built on a specific assumption that independent service was genuinely impossible, or at least so difficult that no rational owner would attempt it. Matt's proving that assumption wrong, and he's not doing it quietly. This rebuild is documented, public, and watched by millions. Every step that succeeds is another crack in the exclusivity facade. Every component that comes off without drama is another piece of evidence that Bugatti's only "we can do this" claim was more about control than capability. They prioritized repair revenue over customer freedom. They built dependence into the ownership model. They assumed complexity would protect them. Getting the car apart proved Bugatti's claims were exaggerated. Putting it back together and making it work, making it drive, making it safe, making it reliable, that's the real test. Every electrical connector must click.